Well, here I am, Peggy O'Neill, una hermana de la caridad, a sister of charity. I live here in Suchitoto. You're in the middle of a garden in the school that we call Centro Arte para la Paz. It's a peace center using the arts as the vehicle to arrive at personal peace, you know, healing all the wounds, the trauma, the memories of a long civil war here. And now we're plagued with other problems like gang activity, disintegration of family. But anyway, this is a school where we try to heal ourselves using the arts as the vehicle. And I'm happy to be with you. Not so happy for this method. I'd love to see your faces. I would love to get your reactions. But I'm here to share what I know has affected me deeply because of the Jesuit mission and vision, especially of Pedro Arrupe. Pedro Arrupe, as you know, was a giant even though he was only a few feet high. He was a giant because he was awakened by the solidaridad or solidarity that just exploded in him after that experience in Hiroshima. He, serving in Japan, quickly changed as novice master, quickly changed the place he lived, the young men with whom he was learning how to be a Jesuit. And he not only changed the place, his whole being changed. He was awakened to our inhumanity to each other. And so he injected the Jesuits with this real conviction that faith and justice are related. So I would like to speak to that. I have been awakened too by many, many movements. I'm an old woman, as you can see. And I was awakened truly by the end of World War II, the ending. When I went to grammar school, I remember going home and asking my dad, "Dad, what about that bomb? Did we win dirty?" My father always told me when I was playing sports, now don't win dirty. And so that was an awakening for me to know that governments don't always do what governments pledge they will do, and that is protect everybody, not just their own people. And I was awakened by the civil rights movement. I was awakened by the women's movement. I was awakened by Vatican Council II. But I was awakened in El Salvador. I saw the thousands of people, innocent people, suffering. So in my way, I felt deeply what awakened Pedro Arrupe. This tiny little country, a tiny little country of Japan, awakened the both of us. Well, as a theologian and as a liberation theologian, you know, that is what I teach here. Many of your students, by the way, at the Casa de Solidaridad, and it's an absolute joy for me to be with them because they give me such hope. I, as a liberation theologian, do read the critics of this movement. This option for the poor, this movement that emerges from John the 23rd's mentioning of the word solidarity. He was the one who mentioned that, and it's been developed by following popes. But to get to the point, I really want to suggest to you that if Arrupe and if the Jesuit mission is to be men and women for others, then solidarity is at the heart of not only your mission, I want to suggest it's at the heart of the doctrine of the Trinity. And it's kind of ironic that this movement of liberation and being compassionate, being aware that we really belong to each other, comes full circle now. We liberationists are really moving to see that the radical doctrine of the Trinity is where we are to place ourselves, understanding that we do belong and are connected to everybody and everything. So I want to suggest this. The mystery of the Trinity does not only enlighten our understanding of this mystery we call God, but enlightens our understanding of human personhood. For instance, in effect, I remember in the second grade, mind you, being taught and memorizing, we are made in the image and likeness of God. I suggest, again, that means it's not only the image of God, but the image of Trinidad, or Trinity, Trinitas. And Trinity is expressed to us, this mystery is understood and expressed in a radical way for Catholics. It's relationship. It's this flaring forth, an expression of love, received, returned, passed around, supporting. It's radical relationship. And if I'm made in that image and likeness, I am also obligated to be relational in ways of mutuality, in ways of equality, in ways of compassion, but compassion, not just a vague compassion, a vague feeling of the pain of others or the joy of others. Or it's not just a shallow accompaniment. Compassion and accompaniment really are duties if we're relational, if we image God. Because God is not an isolated monad. God is a community, according to we Catholics. God is a community, a mystery, fully alive in communion with the world. And so if I must image God, we must image God as a community fully alive in communion with the world. And so solidarity, let me give you a little story. I, in a zone here during the war, I was in a truck moving away because we thought we were being invaded by a force of soldiers. And so we got into the back of a truck and we moved. We took a wrong turn off a road and went onto a road that was not a road, that was easy to find here in those days. And the truck went over a little embankment, and we people ran off the truck, scattered in large fields, large grasses. And we wound up in small groups, again, not knowing if we would have to continue and run away. It would be much easier in small groups if we scattered. And so I wound up with two other women. One woman had a baby, and so she took off the truck her basket with goodies. The other woman, I'm not sure what she had, and myself, I left my backpack on the truck because I had my papers in my pocket. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we got a little chilly, and so we kind of moved around to get more body warmth. And the woman with the baby decided that she would clean the baby. She would change the diaper. So she opened the basket, but first she pulled out of the basket a stack of tortillas. I'm a nervous eater. I was nervous, I was starving. But as soon as the other woman saw the tortillas, she went, "Oh no," she said, "we can't eat your food." She said, "We don't know how long we'll be on this journey, and you have to feed your baby, you have to keep up your strength." With this movement, I saw the woman, the mother with the baby, go this movement. "Oh no," she said, "tonight we share our food. Tomorrow we share our hunger." This is solidaridad. We are in it together. We accompany. Yes, we did share the food with joy. And we did share the next couple of days walking a long distance with our hungers for safety, for warmth, for this to end, if you will. So I want to suggest to you, as you struggle to immerse yourself into what Pedro Rupe has injected into that Jesuit community, that sense of faith and justice are truly related. Our faith is we belong to each other. The scientists are telling us this now too. This Trinity has become quite practical, if you will. It's a practical doctrine. We can go to it and say, yes, on this planet, everything is connected. Scientists tell us now that maybe a butterfly in India can cause, if it flaps its wings, can cause a tornado in Oklahoma. Everything is connected. What we are about when I say solidaridad, as I said, it's not just a shallow accompanying. What it is an awareness that each of us is called to build the common good. We are all responsible for all. And so I plead with you, if you are true to the mission and vision of the Jesuits, you really must engage your students with the awareness that using their creativity, we are all not going to tend to the other in the same way, but using our professional skills, using our creativity, we will find ways to express within our family, but then within our community and within the family that peoples this planet, we will express our deep concern that the longing of God, the dream of God is that, yes, we are dialogical, and yes, we are in relationship, but it doesn't mean just acknowledging your humanness. It means making sure that you have the basics to survive, that you are accompanied in joy, that you are accompanied as you journey searching. And I know you do that. I know I have visited many of the Jesuit universities. The Jesuit universities have shaped me. I have studied at Marquette. I have visited, multiple times, different universities run by the Jesuits. And I sense that the Jesuits have done well trying to verbalize, but trying to show by their behaviors that what it means to be human is to truly touch the world with gentleness. I stand here in a town that was so active during the war. This was one of the war zones where people really bled. We had 10 massacres. But we are ready in a couple of months to lift up Monsignor Romero in a public way. He's always been lifted up. We have many heroes and heroines, but Monsignor Romero comes at a moment where no longer is it the fruits of war, the memories of those massacres. It is now the atmosphere of fear because of gang activity and because of so many that have had to flee for the economic reasons, or now they're fleeing from fear, the young people. But we will lift him up, and we will listen again to his words. We will listen to his sense of we need reconciliation. And if any time we need that now, it's this moment. Monsignor Romero was truly for us a virgin. I say that knowing that the original meaning of the word virgin was given to the goddesses because they were strong women. It had nothing to do with physical purity. It had everything to do with spiritual clarity. The virgins did what they did because for them it was the truth. Monsignor Romero was truly a virgin. He did what he did because for him it was the truth. The Jesuits murdered at the Uca. They did what they did because for them it was the truth. So if we want to be truly human beings, we have to discover what is the truth for me and live out of that deepest center. So my suggestion is ask yourself, who am I now? How do I live out of my deepest center? Have your students ask over and over again, who am I now after graduation? Who am I now after falling in love? Who am I now knowing that the world raises up Monsignor Romero? That means, Peggy, pay a little more attention to his words, to his spirit. I thank you for inviting me. I wish I could see you. I think it's a marvelous experience for you to not have to travel, but it loses something in this filmation. But carry on, stay alive, pig out on life. We know this is not a dress rehearsal, but let everybody truly be human. If they're on crosses, let's help take them down, the innocent suffering. But let's ask ourselves, am I complicit in building crosses for people? Am I relating in ways that doesn't raise them up? Thank you. Enjoy each other. And it's been a joy looking into the camera, but standing here real early, trying to just share some of my deepest longings with you. Thank you.